Thank you, thank you for everyone showing up here in January for Club Copilot. Super excited to see everybody. Feel free to leave the cameras on, keep them off, whatever it is. We'd love for you to stay engaged with us, and we love to be able to see your faces. But we all know that, at least on the East Coast, we're getting closer to the end of the day, so people are getting tired. Um, but thank you for coming. I am Heather Cox. As Carlos asked, yes, I managed to find a work appropriate swimsuit from the top up. So if you're a fan of the company Show Me Your Moo, that is where it's from, in case you're looking for your own. My co-hosts are wonderful, wonderful friends of mine, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Sure. I'll go next. Carlos Fernandez, Director of Mountain Work, supporting the pretty much the whole East Coast. Anything that I can do to talk about Copilot, evangelize Copilot. I live and breathe it. I'm obsessed, guys. I am sorry. This is so cool, and we are so lucky to be living in times like today. So, looking forward to sharing anything that I can. Pass it over to Dwayne.
Carlos is not sorry. Don't let him fool you. He's super excited and can't hide it. My name's Dwayne. I work for Heather, and I'm on her team as a cloud solution architect. And are you wearing?
Did you miss it? Yes, it is in fact a swimsuit. And I found a water toy while I was investigating where my swimsuits were.
So sorry, I got distracted. I'm cold, so I'm wearing a thermal. But I work on Heather's team, and I work with education customers all over the United States. And I love that because I spent my whole grown up life working in education, doing IT stuff. So excited to be able to do this, and we have some big news and updates and stuff to cover, and we're going to do a little group activity together too. But I don't want to get ahead of myself too much. But we're going to have some fun today, I hope.
Yeah, so I'm going to probably speed through the first couple of things so that we can get to the meat of it. We are going to leave time for questions at the end. So hopefully you'll stick with us until we get there. But what was really funny is when we first set out to start Club Copilot, it started with the club. Like we were just like the club we're getting older. We don't get out as much. So we thought we'd start with that. We had the nightclub theme, but then we decided we needed a theme for each month. So we were kind of going through and picking one that fit with the month. And last month we had the ski club. We've had fight club. What was November? We had November was that maybe? No, I don't know. I'm missing a club. Anyways, the point being, I thought it's January, it's cold in a lot of places. Let's go to Club Med. And, the boys said to me, Heather, I'm sorry, but don't know what Club Med is. So I said, all right, well, then we will naturally ask our friend Copilot what Club Med is. So if you are not familiar with what Club Med is it's short for Club Mediterranean, and I butchering the French there. But what do we do when we don't know what something is? I gave Dwayne and Will credit for this phrase. I'm not sure if they invented it or this way to refer to Copilot, and we've said it before, but I believe it bears repeating, is that when we use Copilot and we're looking for something, we are not using it as a search engine. We're using it as an answer engine. So I went to Copilot today and I said, all right, I need an answer. What is Club Med? It gave me this. Now, I don't know about you. I love my job. I love work, but I certainly would not mind being at Club Med right now. So I'm imagining many of you would like to join me from there. Maybe someday we'll all just get to work remotely from Club Med. But the reason it differs from a search engine is, as you can see in that screenshot that I've taken, we've got those footnotes, if you will, or citations. We've got 1, 2, and 3, and they are referencing the sites where information was pulled. So I love this image, and that's why I'm going to repeat it all the time. I love the differentiation between search engine and answer engine. If I was going to the internet and I go to Bing, because I work for Microsoft. So I go to Bing, and if I were to just type something in and search, I'm going to get a list of websites. And I still need to go in, and I need to find, and I need to read. But what my answer engine of Copilot is doing for me is it's creating that summary, it's creating that information. Now, should I need more? I've got the references and I can keep digging. But I thought it was a great way to not only let you know what Club Med is, in case you are unfamiliar, because we are super excited and fortunate that this is also a global audience that attends not office hours, that's Thursday, Club Copilot. And so thought it was a great way to show two things all in one. So I'll fly through the agenda. We do reminders and recap each month. We're going to do a what's new with Copilot. Will and Dwayne are going to lead us through the most important, the meatiest part, which is our featured section on scenarios. And then we've got some more to explore because accessibility is a really important aspect for Microsoft. But as educators and all aspects of in education, accessibility is really, really key. So we have some insanely amazing resources. We'll open it for Q&A, and we'll do Q&A until you run out of it or we hit the end of our time. So each month we're adding more people. And for those of you that have been here, you've heard me say this every single month, but for those of you that are new, we want this to be the end user information / training. We want this to be where you get what's coming up. How do I do this? What's something innovative? It's not meant to be just like super technical and like, this is broken, help me fix it. We have another community that we will direct you to that also we all participate in. It's on Thursdays each week. But we're going to give you what's new, what's updated, and we're going to focus on something so that you can start practicing, diving in, diving deep, because that's what we're doing here internally, and we want to give you those tools externally. Quick December recap. Hopefully, if you're on this call, that means that you are actually in the Club Copilot team itself. Sometimes people forward it, and if they forward it to you, we want you to get you into the team, because that's where you're going to find, at least until we put things potentially external, you'll find every recording we do. You're going to find every presentation slide, so you'll have access to all the links, though these links are live for you currently, since this is PowerPoint Live right now. And also you're going to find the recap. So last month, we spent a lot of time with Copilot agents. So you have 2 recordings if you'd like to check them out. We've got the Club Copilot recording there. And then the other community I keep referencing is MS Office Hours, and one of our amazing business application specialists for Microsoft, Craig Hogan, did a fantastic, like super, like if you need to understand Copilot agents, like from a like direct base level, that's a great one to watch. But then there are some links that I'm not sure everyone's familiar with, and I'm probably going to leave these here monthly. M365 Roadmap. That one is, I think, filtered. I believe I filtered that link to Copilot, but you can get all of Microsoft on there. So I suggest bookmarking it if you don't already have it bookmarked. The second link is going to take you to the Copilot News and Insights. It's going to have blog information. So that's specific to our M365 Copilot. And then finally, there's the education blog. So while we will often pull information and updates for our sessions from these locations and highlight, you can always stay on top of things with it if you bookmark those yourselves. So with all that being said, I tried to talk fast so that we can get to what we really want to get to. Carlos is just going to mention something there at the top, and then we're going to get into some what's new with Copilot.
All right, so this one will be quick because I'm not allowed to spoil anything that I shouldn't be saying, and we're going to try to spoil as much as we can without losing our jobs, because we really love our jobs. So tomorrow is a big day. It is like your birthday, but not as exciting, just slightly under it. There's a big Copilot announcement around agents that is going to drop first thing tomorrow, I believe. Don't quote me on this. I believe it's 10 Eastern. At least I heard somebody say 10 Eastern. I could be wrong. Hopefully it's sooner. I can't wait. This is like I was excited about Ignite. Now I'm excited about this. And it's going to be, once again, just around agents, much more functionality. We had a great show. I think it was 2 shows ago that we talked about agents. We gave a little bit of an intro. We'll be doing more as soon as this announcement drops and giving you some more live demos of what is possible. So just stay tuned. Please, please, please make sure that you check out the Microsoft blogs. Like I said, first thing tomorrow morning, some really exciting things, which is great time for. I know we have some global conferences that are taking place at PTC this week. I think BET is at the end of this week or next week as well. So it's going to be just like perfect timing for people to see this from different areas of the country. We'll definitely cover it in the next Sub Copilot call. So stay tuned. Just a little teaser. It's worth getting excited about. All right, Heather, prompt gallery.
All right. Well, Dwayne, actually, Dwayne talked to me a little bit about this prompt gallery and sharing. I know prompt gallery was on the list last month, so if you came. But Dwayne, do you want to elaborate a little bit on what the sharing element is going to be all about?
Sure. I'm going to share my screen, which is going to unfortunately stop the PowerPoint Live. But I think I'm just going to handle prompt gallery and the message center updates all at the same time. So it's fine. Give me 1 second. So
Everybody
last month, sorry, what?
Everybody loves a live demo, Dwayne. Let's do this.
If it works, usually in 198 people is when it's going to go sideways. So we'll see. But last month, Will talked to us a little bit about the prompt gallery, like what is the prompt gallery? And whenever you're using Copilot, so here I have a user who does not have a Microsoft 365 Copilot license. So this would be the Copilot with enterprise data protection that anybody and everybody has access to. There is a little button right down here that says view prompts. And when I click that, that opens up my prompt gallery. There's a new button that says your prompts, which is pretty handy. So this is now available in the included Copilot. So everybody has access to this. And this is really important because tell me in the chat, where do you keep all your favorite prompts? Like when you have a super awesome prompt that Carlos showed you, where are you putting that? Where are you keeping it? I just want to see how many different answers we get, because it's going to be a sticky note. It's going to be Microsoft Loop. It's going to be, I have this unsaved text file in Notepad that I keep hoping my computer won't turn off and lose. It's everywhere. Yeah, nowhere I can find is what Mother said. So like the cool thing here is I've got a prompt right here that I worked really hard on making. So I was collaborating with Copilot. I was troubleshooting. I was going through and having it build out this nice table for me. And once I got to the prompt that I wanted, which I think is pretty powerful, I can click this little save button and I can bookmark it. And I can say, make awesome table. Now when I go to view prompts and I look at my prompts, I'm going to have make awesome table is going to show up in here. Now for a licensed Copilot user, so I'm going to switch over to Corey. So Corey is a licensed Copilot user. When he looks at his prompts in the prompt gallery, he's talking about like, I don't know, whatever that was, honeybees or something like that. You're actually going to see copy link. So this allows you to take your super awesome prompt and share it with a friend and send it to them. And so you've bookmarked it. I'm going to copy a link. And if I jump over into my Teams chat, and I like to chat with Will, me and Will hang out quite a bit, I can send him that. And so he gets this nicely formatted hyperlink. Now, when I hovered over it, it's a hot mess. So don't hover over it. Just ignore that. But when you click it, watch what happens. It opens up my browser, takes me straight to BizChat. and puts the prompt in the prompt window for me. And then I just click enter. And if I were to send it, I'm a new person that got this super awesome prompt. Now I can save it. So the news, the big news there is linking. I can not only save my prompts in a standardized place that's available to me directly in the user interface of Copilot, I can also share them with my colleagues, and then they can save them and share them. And this is pretty powerful because previously we had some third party, I don't want to say third party, we had some custom solutions that you could do. There's a thing called Prompt Buddy that maybe some of you have played with and you thanks, Will, that some of you have used. And now it's kind of natively built in to the experience, which it's in BizChat right now, and it's in, for licensed users, it's in web chat as well. So Corey hasn't saved anything yet. But this is a big deal, I think. So
yeah, I'm gonna add just you know, I like to try to think of it because I hate, you know, that all my the farther away I get from the classroom, the more the day-to-day starts to leave my brain. But when I'm thinking about lesson planning prompts that I might use, or professional development prompts that I might be working on, or even commonly asked questions that students have in fourth grade, then because that's what I taught. So that's where I tap out there, guys. You know, but being able to have that, maybe somebody on your team, whether it's a grade level team, maybe it's a department team, maybe it's someone in the C-suite, somebody may be an incredibly great individual at prompting. Carlos is always, I make all the images that you see. Carlos is always saying, Heather, wow, I love the images that you make. Thank you, Carlos. You know, like, but I've really honed my image prompting. So maybe you have somebody that is that prompt, quote unquote, genius in whatever area they are working in. They can go and do some of that prompting. They can share it with you. And this is where, you know, the phrase I seem to be overusing more and more is working smarter, not harder. Why not help each other out, share those prompts with other individuals, especially if you're doing similar work. I love that we're able to put them somewhere we can find them. To Marge's, I didn't call myself a genius. I was saying maybe in some areas I'm better at certain things than others. But I just love that we have somewhere we can find it, and then we have somewhere we can share it, because I know that the collective knowledge of my team is the only reason I survive. So I appreciate that.
you're a genius. I'll say it.
Absolutely.
All right.
So many
Well,
ways.
we're going to morph right on over into message center updates. Now, message center updates are something that we don't typically talk about on Club Copilot because they're administrator-y kind of things, but there's something pretty significant happening on my screen right now that maybe you missed in a message center update. So we're going to talk to you about it because it's there and it is important. Number one, things have been renamed a little bit. Notice in the middle, there's an extra word added. Microsoft 365, the web app that we would have previously called M365, you would hit it through office.com, has been renamed to Microsoft 365 Copilot. The application icon has changed as well. So this right here will take you to the root of Microsoft 365. So this is a little bit of a user interface change, and this also took place on my phone over the weekend. So the Microsoft 365 app on Android is now called Microsoft 365 Copilot. So that's a pretty significant change. So you'll want to make sure that your users are aware of this change. Also, this doesn't mean that I have a paid license. to Microsoft 365 Copilot. So this might generate a little bit of confusion with some of your folks. So get your end user documents ready so that they understand what they actually have access to. A really easy way to know is if you click on Copilot and you don't see a work toggle, you don't have the paid version of Microsoft 365 Copilot.
Just as an aside, I know because Message Center is like the serious, like Dwayne said, this is like kind of the lighthearted stuff. And y'all, this is why these communities, if you are not reading the chat, this is why these communities are where you go to get yourself a little giggle at the end of the day. Clearly some of you know us very well, and you know that we laugh at ourselves because that's the only way to get through life is to have a laugh. I'm very much approving of the fact that y'all are making puns on the names of our products, shocked at the fact that something might get changed. You're really speaking to my heart today, and I'm loving it.
All right. Moving on down. We are looking at Message Center post 958-903. So this is in the admin center. This is available to all of you who have access to the admin center. So this is, public knowledge. So this is kind of handling some of the renames and stuff. There's 2 posts that kind of cover this. What we were just calling Microsoft Copilot is now Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat. That is what you would have if you did not have a paid Microsoft 365 Copilot license. The work toggle that we talked about earlier is Biz Chat. You actually saw that real briefly. Let me go back to Corey. You saw that in the message that Corey linked to Will of like, hey, check out this cool prompt I made. It actually says right there, try in Biz Chat. And then what was the resulting action of clicking that link? It opened up Biz Chat and put the prompt in the box. So if you don't have Biz Chat, you have Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat. Also, pretty big part of this is Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat users will be able to discover, create, and use agents. So if you go back to last month's episode, Jethro took us through agents and showed us what agents are and a little bit of what they can do. And I anticipate you will hear a lot more news about agents tomorrow. So if you have like a lot of questions, just wait like 24 hours, maybe not even that long, to get answers probably to a lot of those questions. There are agents that can be grounded. So also, if you go way back to our very first episode ever, we talked about what grounding means. Agents can be grounded on web data. So this basically means, I don't want to overstate this, but this means free M365 Copilot chat users will be able to create custom GPTs. Carlos, is that accurate-ish?
That is the way that I am reading this. I will also state all of the details will be released tomorrow. And I'm being 100% honest with you guys. Not that I would never be honest, but I'm saying we're not sharing more because we've seen different versions of this and we don't want to misspeak or share the wrong information. So we're just going based off of exactly what you see that has been dropped already on December 16th in the Message Center, which is absolutely gold. And this is a precursor to some of the stuff that's going to be announced tomorrow.
Yeah.
In detail.
A little bit of it is hinted at. A little bit of it is hinted at here. There is going to be an option for specific agents that can access work data. And there is a hint there around metered consumption to help make that happen. I did also see in the chat, it flew by, but there were some redirects taking place for entry into Microsoft 365. So if I were to take Mr. Nestor here, open up a new tab, I find it easy to remember office.com. When you click that or hit enter, in my case, you can see it has redirected me to a new landing page. So this cloud.microsoft domain was announced and we started talking about redirects like 2 years ago for this. So it's not a total shocker. And if it is a total shocker, I sorry. But we've been talking about it for a minute. So that is also covered right here, that you'll get automatically redirected to the new cloud.microsoft, which is pretty cool because we took .com and replaced it with .microsoft, and Microsoft is the only company on the planet that can make web addresses that go there. So this is a great security update. If you've ever gone to a website and typed in too many O's or too many Z's or whatever it might be, you are going to go to potentially a malicious landing page that people have created anticipating your typo. So this is a pretty fantastic change. If it's .microsoft, it's .us. It's our stuff. You will see in MC958905 the changes to the web app, which I showed you already with Nestor. So I won't take too long talking about this one. But this one is a pretty big UI change. So if you've got users on web, maybe Chromebooks or something like that, or web clients, they will see a whole new landing page that will also change a little bit more too. So take a peek at this and look through all the notes there to get an idea of all the changes that are taking place there. This is an interesting one as well. Copilot extending to Teams and Outlook. So this is stating that the unpaid version, I don't know how to say it correctly, the one that's included with Microsoft 365, so now called Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat, users of that will start to see entry points into Copilot inside of Teams and inside of Outlook. So similar-ish to how Corey here, licensed user, opens up chat, he sees Copilot there. Similarly to that, unlicensed users without the paid license will see Copilot pinned in Teams and in Outlook. So you can control that with a cloud policy. So again, check out that message center post. You are going to see some information down here. Set up policies. People can unpin. You can control this with, admin stuff will be there as well. Pay-as-you-go model for agents in SharePoint. Again, tomorrow, more news will be coming out, but this is also included in your message center. So 952-883. This is also something that Jethro showed, how to make an agent directly on a SharePoint site. So SharePoint, fantastic way to store lots of information about a particular subject. You can create an agent that is grounded exclusively in that content. And that's fantastic. I'm pretty sure Corey actually has one here that we showed a little while ago. Let's see. I have a team called Digital Transformation and something, something, something. And when we go into the general chat, and I have a folder called E900 devices, it has some documents in here with some random information. And here's my little agent. It's actually a .agent file. I can click on it. And I can ask it questions. So what this announcement is saying is you'll be able to make that capability available to users who do not have a Microsoft 365 Copilot license. That's pretty big news. So please check this message center post. If you are an admin, there is work that you would need to do in order to make this model available so that people will be able to do that.
Dwayne, I would add here, all of the details. You mentioned some keywords here. You mentioned things like pay as you go. You mentioned, what's going on maybe with SharePoint versus Copilot agents versus this versus that. Like, there's so much here. And I think my ask is like, let's see what drops tomorrow. All the details around everything should be explained tomorrow. And I would say, like, contact your account team, contact your Microsoft representative, give them some time. Okay, he and she are gonna need to read this over, really see how this is gonna impact things, how this changes things. So give them just, a little bit of time, give them some lenience, unless it's Heather Coxwell Thomas, Dwayne Hyatt, or myself, and give us a little bit of time, and then have that conversation with them and say, hey, how could we use this? And I know this is going to lead into some of the other discussions that we're going to have, but I think this is just a great talking point, because we got a little sneak peek of agents, and what that can do is insanely powerful. I know I had a presentation on this first thing this morning, and the ideas that were spinning from people, whether it was agents for students, agents for their team, agents for their faculty, for their staff. I mean, and there's some people that are like, you know what, we don't care about the people that we work with. We just want to create agents for our families. And I was like, okay, slow down, pump the brakes, okay. But it was it's neat, and I think we have a great opportunity to have more conversations with our Microsoft account teams.
Yeah, and if you're like, come on, can you just say something? Internally, we've had this just wait 15 days. Oh, 10 more days. It's going to happen in 3 days. So if you're feeling a little angsty because it's tomorrow, just imagine the number of times we've been told that internally. And side note, you are more than welcome. Please tell your account teams, hey, Club Copilot told me to connect with you. Just don't reach out to them at 8 a.m. your time and get on their nerves, and then they're going to hate us. But you are totally welcome to be like, you know what, heard about this on Club Copilot. So, we're more than happy for you to do that. And, but yeah, don't make them mad because we sent you for the crack of dawn when you opened up your computer. So
I can't wait. I hope people are up at the crack of dawn looking at their computer.
It's 8:01. They're like, Dwayne told me there was something to see.
Yeah.
They're gonna email Dwayne and be like, I still don't see it. I still don't see it.
This is not a Copilot announcement, kind of, but it will be. But this is something I want all my education friends to know. You are getting meeting notes back. Everybody cheer. Meeting notes were taken away when we switched from the older wiki powered notes, and we switched over to what we call collaborative meeting notes, which is Microsoft Loop on the back end. And education hasn't had meeting notes for a little while. This is a huge deal, because guess what? Copilot can generate meeting notes. It can look at meeting notes. There's even new AI notes that the facilitator agent will take notes for you and with you. And so all of this is interconnected. So I felt like this one definitely needed to be included in here, because you haven't had notes for a while. And trust me, I know. So I am very, very excited about this one. So this one was something I felt like needed to be called out. So that's it for Message Center updates. That was a doozy. I know.
All right. Dwayne, question. Are you sharing your screen? I don't want to put the PowerPoint back up, just to make sure. Are you sharing your screen for next little bit?
I can. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's up to you. I just want to, so the funniest thing is, so poor Dwayne. Well, I mean, poor Dwayne, lucky Dwayne. I don't know. I think it probably depends on the week as to how Dwayne views it, quite honestly, whether or not, it's like, oh, I get to report to Heather, yay. Other times it might really make him sad and just he has to throw his hands up.
No.
So, last week Dwayne and I were talking, and as a former elementary school teacher, I love a theme, shocker. And he was throwing out ideas because I want the feature of the month to always have sound fun. And, he wants to talk about scenarios. And so Dwayne's like, oh, snorkeling for scenarios.
I
And
said that totally
he did. Like, he was
sarcastically.
like 100% joking. And I was like, oh, too bad that came out of your mouth. It's going on the screen. So we are here in Club
Oh.
Med. We are snorkeling for scenarios. And I'll turn it back over to Carlos and Dwayne. We're going to need you to use some imagination here, but Carlos and Dwayne, go ahead and let us know what we're doing.
Yeah, I didn't think it would actually make it into the deck, but it is permanent record now. And I'm also going to ask Will to jump in here because Will has helped out with this significantly. Will, you're here. I see you.
I'm here.
You turn your camera on. You're at the beach. We are going to talk about scenarios. There is a link at the bottom. We're going to leave this slide up for a little while, and then I'll pull my screen up and we'll kind of share. And today's exercise is going to be collecting information from you so that we can kind of carve it up and go through it and break down some scenarios that are real world. You're all from education. So all of you have something in common. So when you click this link and it starts to walk you through asking some questions about tasks that you do, we're going to start thinking about long processes, business processes, forms, a review, a document, a policy, a meeting that you attend. Like there's a lot of things that you do in a day that might take a significant amount of time. And we're going to come back to these, the team here, the Club Copilot team, and we're going to break some of these down and try to walk through how to copilot them. Like, what are some places? What are some apps? What are some things we could do? What are some prompts we could engineer and craft together and come up with on ways to do that? So this form is going to ask you some details. It's going to ask you, it's not going to ask anything personal. Don't give us personal stuff. Please stop. Don't. Notice the form doesn't even ask you for your name. So I can't even tell who said what. It's totally anonymous. So I'll share my screen in a little bit, but I just want to give everybody some time. I'll drop the link to the form in the chat as well. So you all have it there. So that way I can share my screen. And we'll go through the form together a little bit. And then we'll spend a little bit of time looking at some of the preliminary results. And if we see a one we can grab real quick and pull it out, we'll talk about it a little bit. But I do hope that we can spend more time in the future covering some of these.
So we want to do this to be a little bit more like interactive. And one of the things that I want to make sure you guys understood is like there's no silly and there's no wrong answers. Like this is probably one of the most, if not the most diverse group from a call perspective. We have teachers, we even have students that attend Club Copilot. We have M365 admins. We have people that have nothing to do with M365. I mean, we have a little bit of everything here. And I think we all either we're thinking about this selfishly, which is a good thing, or we are thinking about this in terms of the people that we support. But when you go and you fill this out, like really start thinking about like different types of ideas, different types of things that come to mind. Try to answer this as much because I think we just have way too much talent on this call. And just listening to what other people are thinking or doing or creating is absolutely just mind-blowing from a idea sparking perspective.
Yeah. This is a process that we do regularly, but I will be honest with all of you. I don't know that we've done a scenario discovery with 205 people all at the same time. Will, have you ever done one that big? 200 plus people all in the same call? Oh, he has. He's a pro. I'm a rookie.
It did not go well. Let's put it that way.
Oh no, don't say that.
It's too many people. Yeah.
Well, that's why
you can't cover everyone's response.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of carve it into these two pieces. So
Will made a really good point there. We know we cannot cover everyone's response. So the idea, and as Carlos mentioned, we have such a wide range of participants on this call. So as we get into the discovery and as we're going through it, maybe the scenario that we're looking at is not a scenario that for you in that moment it applies. What is something similar that you can somehow relate to it and you can mentally go through the task with us, because we certainly can't meet every single role at the same time.
There's a graphic here to kind of help you start the process. Think about a thing that you do. Think about a thing that you do routinely. That's a really good key to this. Is there a thing that I do every Tuesday? Is there a thing that I do every day? Is there a thing I have to do every quarter? Right. So identify
in Office apps.
Yes. It's going to be a what we would call like a personal productivity type task. I'm in Word, I'm in Excel, I'm in Teams, I'm in whatever. I'm drafting a letter, I'm drafting an email, I'm scheduling a call, whatever it might be that you are doing on a regular basis. So that's why it says start here. Now, after you've identified that thing, what about that thing hurts? What about that thing do you not look forward to, or do you not enjoy? What is tedious or mundane? What takes a really long time? What do you maybe have to do a lot of manual work or copying and pasting or something to that effect? And we'll get over into like these later, right? And maybe even this one also a little bit later. We're going to concentrate on this one and this one for right now. So you're going to see as an employee, I want to, and that's going to be your scenario. That's going to be your thing that you have to do frequently. I tried to include as many Office apps as I could. If there's not one there, I should have added a fill in the blank box. I apologize that I did not do that. I thought there was an other. Nope, there's not. How much time does this process require? And also, I wanted to be clear that we're not only looking for use cases that use the paid version of Copilot. I am definitely going to crawl through all of these results and find things that we can use Copilot with enterprise data protection for. Because generative AI all up is designed to save you time and help you create. And so it doesn't have to be a paid license process. So is there a specific person or type of person, job title, role, assistant principal, teacher, a faculty member, executive assistant that has to do the same thing that you do? And this is one of the things that's going to be really cool about this as with a group this large is when we start to identify these, there will be things that someone else on this call also has to do. Because again, we all work in education. How many of you make IEPs, right? That's a very universal thing. Now, every district has its own process or application or something like that for how they do that. But there are going to be things that you're going to see that will also jumpstart ideas. So Will saying there's only 17 responses. You filling this out and giving me a scenario and us sharing it, it will benefit other people too, and you will benefit from it as well. So sharing is caring.
We're at 23. But back to the IEP thing. So my wife works for the school system here. in an elementary school, and she's an occupational therapist, so she's doing IEPs all the time. I didn't even know what it was until she told me, like, hey, the other day I had a coworker use Copilot to help them write their IEP because they were new, like they just graduated college, first job, and she had them generate their IEP using Copilot so that they could have some sort of template to go off of. And she said she wasn't expecting it to be amazing, and she said it was one of the best IEPs she'd ever seen. Not saying you're going to get that result every time, but now someone's asking me what is an IEP.
Yeah, I was going to say, Heather, Carlos, you want to?
Yeah, I'll just do a real quick one. Individualized education plan. Students, it's a legal document for students have qualified for specific services, and that just is, it's very much a legal guarantee that they will receive those services no matter what. Should we individualize all education? I personally believe so, but that's a high horse we can get on another day. So that's what you got.
Oh, I like Stephanie's answer. I had to ask Copilot what an IEP was. Using that answer engine. Nice. So once, IEPs, there are lots of specific teacher roles that are responsible for generating those. So you would enter that into question number 4, of course. How many of those people have to do that? Do we know? Do we have any idea? Can you guesstimate? Go ahead, throw it in there. And then I always like this sometimes to be the first question I ever ask, but in this case, it makes sense for it to be in the end. I always like to ask, like, what is your goal? What is success? What does success look like, so that we can figure out how to get you there? Now, I think there's a possibility that a lot of you could be like heroes after this is done. I hope that we get to help do that with you. When we create a Copilot powered process for this, you will have data. You will have data that you can take and show someone, look at this amazing thing that we've done. You will be able to figure out how much time something takes, how many people have to do that thing, and you'll know how long the original process takes. And then we can measure it afterwards, after we've done some Gen AI, thrown some Copilot in there. You have a delta now. You have time, you have savings, and you can go back and report that. And I think that would be pretty powerful. So let me take a peek at some of the results, and then we'll open it up for Q&A while I kind of peruse those. Because like I said, we're going to do this in 2 halves. Scenario discovery, we're going to take some, team is going to noodle on it. We're going to tear them apart and try to help you come up with some Gen AI solutions.
And Dwayne, we can leave this up for the next month, right? And people can be submitting them throughout okay.
Yeah, this form's not done. It's not closed. Feel free.
Yeah, and just so we'll get talking to it, but I know that like a lot of folks might have to drop at the top of the hour. So we can always make sure that this is something we circle back to as we for the start of next month's Club Copilot. And I know also that questions have been dropped in the chat. So what our team, in case we don't get to them with Q&A today, our team will take a look at those questions, and we can reach out to individuals and or post them in our team, so that in case you don't have access to the chat, that you can get those answers.
Got 32 responses. We're doing pretty good. Pretty good. Can I share some of these? Like, I mean,
yeah.
While you ask, I mean, y'all go ahead and come off mute and ask questions, but I'll share this window so we can look at some of these. I'll try to aggregate this into a big document too, and we'll share it out as well.
Yeah, I think once we share this out with everybody else, this is absolutely gold. I think, you don't know what you don't know, or you don't know what other people are struggling with that might be working right next to you. And if something like Copilot or agents can fix that, this is huge.
Yep.
Unless you're Ben and you're on Bing, then you're. I love Bing too, Ben. But
Dan's got his hand up. Dan, do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question about how much does Copilot integrate with non-Microsoft tools?
There was a
There's
similar one from Marge in the chat, so that's a good question.
Oh, is it? Yeah, there's an extensibility story around Copilot for sure. There are agents have the ability to leverage plugins, and Copilot for M365 looks at data that's included in the Microsoft Graph. And so there are these things called graph connectors that would allow you to ingest data from a third party, let's say knowledge base or wiki service, catalog of some kind into the graph. Then that would make Copilot aware of it. I think we have a list that got posted somewhere. I don't mean to put Will on the spot, but I saw a graph connector catalog a little while ago. And then, agents are a big part of that, that story as well, because they can reach out to other third-party platforms through their API and talk directly to them.
I'm thinking in particular of some pretty archaic and actually deprecated by the vendor products that we use that we're struggling to migrate out of. I can think of use cases around that scenario too, which I'm thinking something like a Power Automate might help. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I haven't played with Power Automate enough to speak intelligently yet, but I thought I remember seeing something about like being able to move the mouse and click things and type into other systems using that feature set. Is that something that an agent might be able to pick up the functionality of and do?
Yeah. So Power Automate is kind of a big part of Copilot actions. So Power Automate would be, there's a event that would be a trigger. And then after that trigger fires, there would be a series of actions that would take place. And generative AI actions are a big part of that. So you'll have heard probably recently, after Ignite, there was a discussion around something called agent actions. And those are Power Automate behind the scenes. So yeah, that's definitely a good starting point to look at for sure.
Keep in mind that would also be through Copilot Studio, which is
now
a lot more powerful.
Yeah, sorry, I just brain shorted out. There is RPA, so robotic process automation, is the thing that could actually move your mouse and click on certain regions of the screen and make things happen. I'm pretty sure there's somebody in the chat that has some experience with RPA, or at least has hired somebody that knows something about RPA if they have anything to add. But yeah, that would be something you would want to take a peek at, would be robotic process automation. Those older systems, like if it's I don't know, mainframe or something, I'm not really sure. Something you would click around in. Does that help, Dan? Hopefully.
Yeah, somewhat. I clearly have a lot to learn.
There's a lot out there, man. There's a lot out there. Oh, somebody's funny. Somebody's funny. Their scenario is, I want to summarize all the changes announced in the admin center. Okay. Probably 1 to 2 hours after I've already spent 4 days. Okay, I like this one.
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
It's not. No.
I think it's something we would all do.
Writing evaluations. Yep. Managers do this.
Yeah. Dwayne, what I'm going to do is I am going to take back control of the screen here.
Okay. Sorry.
Yo, you're fine. I just know we're getting close to time. And again, that elementary teacher that lives inside of me all the time is a time junkie. And so I'm going to pull it back up. We're going to dive more into what those scenarios might look like, Copilot. So we hope we'll see a pop back to join us again. I'm going to move forward here. And really quickly, Carlos, do you want to mention this really quickly as we're wrapping up?
Yeah, so there was a call that was done not too long ago on MS National Hours that really focused on accessibility within EDU and EDU products. And we just wanted to highlight this because accessibility is at the foundation of almost everything that we do, right? It's something we definitely take into account. So there's some great hyperlinks. We'll make sure you guys have access to this. I want to call out two specifically. I love the storytelling and use cases. I'm a big storytelling guy. The first link is just a ton of YouTube videos of different people kind of sharing their stories. It's short, it's super powerful. Some of it is pretty emotional, but definitely take a look at that because I just think it's absolutely amazing. And then the other one I want to call out was the scenario library. That has so much stuff. If you've never seen our Microsoft adoption pages, we have adoption pages for pretty much every single product. In this case, you're looking at adoption pages from an accessibility perspective. Just something to definitely just take a look at when you guys have some time. I don't want to call this homework, but I want to call this maybe while you're at Club Med, taking a sip of the beverage of your choice. Click on some of these and check them out whenever you have some time.
Perfect. I know time-wise we didn't get to where we needed to be with M365 Copilot, but the great thing is that we do have a full MS Office Hours Q&A only session. So every single one of your Club Copilot questions can be brought to that community if you're not already a part of it. I dropped the registration there. I will get you added into that community and make sure that I call attention to the invite for it. So I know, I'm so sorry we didn't get to that. But what we're going to do, remember, every month we got a theme, okay? And the next theme, certainly I probably had the most influence on the theme. Sorry, boys. I know I let y'all have Fight Club. I was cool with it because, Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, I'm okay. But we're going to the Babysitters Club. And I love that somebody put that in the chat in the beginning. Again, this is like a throwback to the youth. The Babysitters Club. I don't know how many of you out there wanted to start your own Babysitters Club, but I know I did. I really wish that was like a real thing. So for the Babysitters Club, we're going to take those scenarios. Please, please, please keep adding that stuff. Daddy, okay, there you go. Daddy daycare. All right, you got this. I already told them, I said, y'all all have daughters, so I know that there's a baby doll sitting somewhere in your house. Bring it to the Babysitters Club. But you've added things to the Copilot scenario discovery. Thank you for doing that. What we'll do is we're going to distill that information. We're going to find something that we feel has a broad impact. We're going to discover more with that in February's call, the Babysitters Club. So please, please, please come join us to see how that wraps itself up. But if you do have those questions, add your name to that MS Office Hours registration. I'll get you added to that community. You will, again, fortunately or unfortunately, get to see my face again on Thursday for that. I know Dwayne and Will definitely be there answering questions. But thank you. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for exploring Copilot with us. Our goal really is to just be here to support you. So we want to make this community what you need and want it to be. And so however we can help you leverage that both personally and at scale. So if you have ideas, reach out to us individually, put it in the chat, whatever it is, put it in the team. We know that this is going to take the efforts of all of us to make this really hit home and be successful for everyone. And that's what we're here for. So enjoy Club Med. Like Carlos said, whatever drink floats your boat, have fun with it and enjoy the rest of your day. We will absolutely see y'all again soon. I'm going to kick you out of the meeting. Bye, y'all.
See ya.